Hey, how's it going, folks? Now, this topic has surprisingly really hits me this week, and I'm glad that I have a social network that tells me this sort of stuff. One part that I know about this is the fact that 3 days ago, my missus just bought a brand new Honda Jazz. Now, I'm not sure what's this brand or what's this model name in overseas, but it's just a small hatchback Honda car. Okay. Now, I was talking to the salesperson. He's been telling me it's been phased out in China. Honda Jazz has been phased out in what's that? In China because it didn't pass the carbon emission. And I told him that's a bit bollocks because there's so many Beamers and Mercs in China. How the hell that can pass if a Honda Jazz can't even pass? It's like me saying to you, Toyota Yaris, to be honest to you guys. And he also mentioned, they have to compete with, other car brands, especially with Mazda and things like that. 2021, they'll be rolling all their assemble lines or electric cars. So whatever the cars that you buy within these 2 years, it's going to be petrol. Okay. Now, when you go to Toyota dealership nowadays, they are pushing you very, very hard to buy a hybrid car. All right. If you wanted to buy a Corolla, they sell it so hard for hybrid. It's a 3 years, $3,000 extra if you've chosen a hybrid, and as well if you've chosen the hybrid car, you will have what's the word they're called again? Okay, they try to sell it so hard about the battery lasts more than 10 years and this and that is ongoing, it's running, but we all know the truth. The battery lasts only 7 years, and that battery costs 7 grand. Okay, now stop blabbing. Now let's get to the truth, bottom truth of how they're going to sell electric car in the future. Now I know in Australia, in New South Wales state, Sydney, is trying to fight for implementing a law such as crushing all petrol cars year below 2002. Yes, Australia, there's a lot of old cars running around, and my car is an old car as well. She's an old Schiller. She's an old bird. My car's a 30-year-old, and apparently my car can't be crushed because I'm part of the heritage if I put on a club permit. Now, they're going to crash 2002 cars, and in the future, they will crash even years above, and in return with incentives, like what they did with the confiscating guns in Australia. They'll do the exact same way. Now, the fact that you're having that, and as well, the laws is trying to implementing with regards to smartphones. Now, you guys know smartphones, right? Sooner or later, Uber will pretty much will phase out in Australia. Or if someone bought a very, very high-end premium brand car that has this feature. Now, this feature what I'm talking about is CarPlay. Is that how you say it? CarPlay or Play Car? So pretty much what it is like, it's like a normal LCD screen where you can, like a little iPad screen in your car that you can choose your audios or probably go to GPS or things like that. So when you have a form of like an Android, right, or some whatever what you guys call it nowadays, right, and then purposely what they wanted to do is they wanted to ban all the smartphones, even the ones that attach on the windscreen, because that is connecting the phone and you're not, you still kind of get away. So what they wanted to do now is to have a small screen, iPad screen, and it has voice recognition such as Siri. So you speak to Siri. It's like, hey Siri, I'd like to contact Kevin. All right. I would like to message Kevin. And you say, what's the message you'd like to talk about? Okay, Kevin, I would like to meet you in coffee shop 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, I know the fact that all of us is guilty text and drive. Don't get me wrong. I'm guilty as well. Now, Sydney has doing a trial base rolling out safety cameras with infrared cameras, X-ray, acknowledging if your phone is on or not. All right, like right in front of you. If you're looking in the direction, you'll get a fine straight away, and you lose demerit points. So smartphones in the car will become a fine, pretty much. And these safety cameras that's been installed everywhere will have this sort of function once it's been introduced. One is that. Two is that now cars nowadays are pushing forward for this electric car. If you look at an electric car, it's like a huge, I can't say an iPad screen because it's a very small. I could say like a TV screen, a stretch. Okay, I will say a stretch computer monitor screen. Let's put it that way. So you have one of those screens attached to one of your cars, and you pretty much can download apps and everything. In the future, if you want to do Uber, things like that, you make sure you can download apps and open it from there instead of using a phone. So everything will be recorded, and it's the good thing about cars is recorded. As I'm not sure you guys familiar coming across with this Tesla guy. He does DIY home built Teslas. Uh, building it, and where all the records and everything are stored and recorded. So you cannot lie. All right. So you have evidence when you have that. But, with these tech companies, they do not want you to know about it or access about it. Because that's pretty much breaching the privacy, to be honest. So you have one of those, and that's how they're going to sell it in the future. And, for me, I'm just shocked, amazed. This sort of stuff should be introduced a lot early on, but somehow we're a bit behind. Now it's all electric. Goodbye to the oil countries because we no longer need you guys in shortly later in the future. As a very, very popular thing, the most popular thing in the future will be coal. So Australia, you better be stop saying, like crushing coal mine. Jesus, coal generators and things like that. We need it in the future, mate. I'm telling you, the Green Party, the sustainable parties. Look, I'm sorry, we're not going to hit the carbon emission targets because we're going to burn more coal, my friend. I'm telling you now. Just because the car's not fighting all the time, we're burning a lot of coal than ever than before in history. I'm telling you now, guys. So yeah, that's how they're going to sell electric car in the future.